a look at the summary of events in the cryptocurrency market. We'll talk about Bitcoin, discuss the situation in the Middle East, and take a look at oil events, including the drop and correction in oil prices. These are some of the topics I want to cover in this video. We'll talk about them during the course of the video. If you like this content, don't forget to support us. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Let's take a closer look at this together. We'll start with an update from Crypto Rover about the market, where he discusses that the local bottom is very close for Bitcoin. He talks about how the bottom for Bitcoin is very near based on the funding rate chart. The data we see on this chart is the funding rate relative to the price of Bitcoin. He points out the times when the funding rate has turned negative. At the same time, we were at Bitcoin's price bottom, and then there was a move in the market. First the price bottom, then a market move. And now, Crypto Rover has the same expectation for the market. He also takes a very close look at the Coinbase premium. After 13 long weeks, we're finally seeing that the Coinbase premium has actually turned green. If I want to define a specific difference here, it's essentially the difference between the price gap between the Coinbase market in the US and the global markets like Binance. For example, when we look at the Coinbase premium, if demand increases in the US, we see the premium turn green, and when supply increases, it turns red. Rover also talked about the new all-time low in exchange balances, which generally we'll cover it more in the YouTube news summary, and if we look at the chart now, it's corrected a bit, and we'll be working with this chart. We also want to talk about oil and discuss the price of oil as well. But let's finish up with Bitcoin first. Before that, let's talk about how in 2018, Bitcoin hit its bottom. It refers to being 24% below the 200-week moving average, specifically the EMA, not the MA in 2022. Bitcoin saw its bottom at 40% below its 200-week EMA. Right now, the 200-week EMA is at $64,644. And if you want to compare a 25% drop with the 2018 scenario, it asks, where would the price reach? $49,000, and a 40% drop is being compared to 2022. It could bring Bitcoin down to $38,760. It asks, in your opinion, where is the bottom for Bitcoin and where is it? Where can we see the market bottom and Bitcoin's bottom? Be sure to write it for me in the comments. What do you think? Where is the market bottom? But for someone who believes in Bitcoin, all of these prices, even compared to the current market prices, are buying opportunities. Bitcoin Magazine talked about Saylor, saying that Saylor and his strategy came and they bought another 2,000 Bitcoins today through OTC, and we can see this record here as well. It is important to note that following the recent lead of the German government, the company Petrob has officially stated that it now imposes a 0% tax rate on all private investors. It enforces this and collects it, and we need to be aware of that. Germany had a partial sale of Bitcoin, which was heavily mocked in crypto media. But Ash Crypto talks about how Iran has started investing in its portfolio. This was the reason that even caused the price of Bitcoin to drop again, reaching $69,700. But what exactly does all of this mean for us? This significant investment that we are currently seeing within our financial portfolio refers specifically to the city of Iran, and according to a very detailed report recently released by Rover, it seems that the Islamic Republic is heavily investing in the strategic Strait of Hormuz, and this news received a lot of attention. Trump even addressed it saying, if you do this, we will destroy you. On the other hand, now officials of the Islamic Republic, including Arachi, are talking about this, saying that the Americans are spreading fake news. They are creating it, manipulating the market and tampering with it, and are waiting for inflation. They say things like, you are too much for America, no? And similar comments, and this whole discussion about inflation is related to oil. We're talking about oil, fake news, and these kinds of things. But honestly, the main headline was about Bank of America. They commented that if oil prices continue and keep going up, there is a growing possibility that the Federal Reserve might be forced to lower interest rates in the near future, and while this could certainly happen, it remains at this stage a matter of intense economic prediction and speculation. The oil condition that Bank of America addressed was widely discussed as well. Let's get back to the topic of fake news and market manipulation. Look, there is really so much fake news now, especially images that are created with artificial intelligence and such, that it's become so overwhelming you can't tell which image is real and which one is fake. As an Iranian and as someone who follows the rest of the news during this time, at this very moment, I myself simply cannot confirm with absolute certainty whether this is real or not. I am unsure whether this specific image is authentic and whether this entire event actually happened in reality. You see, usually here I look at these and they ask Grok whether this image is real and it hasn't answered. And honestly, I myself don't know either. Martini and others ask the same thing, whether this is real, whether this event is actually happening. The answer is that it's real, but honestly, I myself don't know either. Truly, the media has been shaped by propaganda wars, information wars, and fake news has become widespread. It really doesn't matter what viewpoint you have. That's not important at all. The important thing is that everything is filled with fake news from all people, all movements and groups, America, and the warnings that America, it has strongly urged and requested that Israel does not target, strike, or completely destroy any vital energy resources and critical energy infrastructure anymore. According to various scattered reports I was seeing here and there, now I am currently unable to officially verify or confirm whether this news is actually true or not, but what I was hearing was that it seems that the strategic petroleum and energy resources destroyed in Tehran were specifically those fuels that are used for long-range missiles. I can't confirm this with absolute certainty, but I've heard it mentioned across several different independent sources, and this has been the example itself. Israel has accepted this, Brooks says. No, Israel is unlikely to fully accept or immediately halt the operation. It doesn't seem like Israel has. Has Israel accepted this? On the other hand, British Airways has also suspended its flights to Abu Dhabi. They've canceled them until the situation becomes safer, and oil, as you mentioned, corrected at 36. In the past 36 hours, oil has crashed. It dropped 33% from $119 to $80, and you can see part of this history. If we look at oil now, it is at 82,735. This is truly one of the biggest corrections in oil's history. We can see that oil has had two very strong reactions. It has had some really strange moves. I found it very interesting. There was a time when oil suddenly, let me think, crude oil now, it's not on this chart. Yeah, it's not on this chart where oil went negative. Personally, oil went negative. If I can actually manage to find it right here in these records, then I can certainly show you exactly when the very first time it happened. During the COVID period, oil went negative. That was one time when this happened, and it was truly a strange event. Let me see if I can find it here. This chart is this data. I am searching right here for all of that massive oil market excitement that happened recently, but I honestly do not see it reflected on this specific chart at all. But anyway, let us now get back to discussing Bitcoin. I wanted to say, and well, that was a really strange event, another chart, and now we're seeing another kind of volatility and excitement. This is exactly the same situation we have on the chart right now. I had mentioned before that diplomats lie, but numbers don't, and this is exactly the point. No exaggeration, just the facts, which brings us to the next topic. This is from the prestigious financial institution Goldman Sachs, which is widely recognized as one of the best and most popular Ripple ETFs currently available on the market. Goldman Sachs has it. This specific Ripple product and the highly anticipated Ripple ETF are designed specifically for dedicated superfans and everyday retail investors alike. They carefully prepare and offer this unique investment opportunity, and it is actually a very interesting and sophisticated product for anyone to consider. Alt Guy shared this. He had posted from CZ saying this person was able to grow Binance, to make Binance big. I've always said that in this $3 trillion market, the market size has grown so much. Doing business here really isn't that easy. You really have to go through a lot of ups and downs, greed. You experience it, and honestly, what CZ has done is truly valuable. And now this very future has led to what will happen next. In fact, this significant event caused CZ to be officially ranked as the 17th richest billionaire in the world by Forbes magazine, as mentioned here. Currently, Polymarket is working closely with Lantern Technology on various monitoring issues. They are focusing on trading, risk management, and the strange activities of individual traders and other market participants in the space. They're working on this and aiming to become partners. Over time, these exchanges, in fact, these prediction markets, will also make KYC mandatory. And one day I'll come here to talk about the news that you can no longer trade on Polymarket because KYC has become mandatory or because the tax authorities are involved and you need to be aware of other aspects and details. We will talk about this. That was it. A look at the summary. Events in the cryptocurrency market over the past 24 hours. I hope the information has been useful for you and that you are now up to date. This was a segment from your own channel. Support us with a like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next update, take care of yourselves.